knowledge being spread. It's like warm butter across the bread. Smooth, I know you like that. Flow with the grain and don't fight that. You want righteous love, you found the right match. With Mardy Mcfly, they on the right track. Yeah, gotta dig the dirt to plant the seed. Spread roots till you sprout like a tree. Donnie Jones, she the one you wanna see. Donnie Jones live, this is where you wanna be. It's Donnie Jones live, Donnie Jones live. It's Donnie Jones live, Donnie Jones live. It's Donnie Jones live, Donnie Jones live.
Welcome to Donnie Jones Live. I am Donnie the Tree Lady.
And I am that guy, Mardy Mcfly. Having a wonderful, wonderful day right now.
We are having a wonderful day. And you know what? I'm so excited about this show. You know, usually it's me and you. And then, you know, once in a while we throw a little something, a little spice in there. Bring somebody on the show that's exciting or that's doing great things.
Right.
But lately, probably about a month or so, we haven't done that. So I'm really excited today. But I've got somebody in here that is doing something wonderful that people need. That I'm not going to be too specific about it because I actually want her to explain exactly what it is. But she gets to share in your wonderful energy, Mardy.
What you mean, my wonderful energy? I
know,
I
sometimes you can be a little much. So
I know what she. You know,
we needed somebody to break us up. After last week, I thought we was gonna be fighting. So
well, put it like this: I might not be fighting with you this week. But somebody gonna be mad at me, you know, because because what she does is, you know, I'm gonna let her explain it. But you know, this is for people that you really kind of wish that would go somewhere and you got everything prepared before time. You know, but please introduce our wonderful guest.
Our wonderful guest today is Mrs. Donna Dees. She is a pre-need specialist. And guys, I know there's people out there sitting there going, well, what the heck is a pre-need specialist? And there's some of you going, I know exactly what a pre-need specialist is. But what I would like to do is have this amazing woman that is out here educating people and helping people in one of the toughest times in their lives kind of overcome that situation and work in a situation that can be difficult for some of us. But you can do it a little bit easier with somebody like Miss Donna Dees. So, Miss Dees, tell us exactly what it means to be a pre-need specialist.
You got to say that the right way. Miss Donna Dees. Just give it that.
If you wanted to intro yourself.
And now, coming to the microphone, the one with pre-need specialists was specialized in is Miss Donna D.
Yes.
Yeah, put your hands together. A little bit.
Okay, so you did that better than I do. Okay, whatever.
All righty.
What's up, Miss Donna? How you do?
I'm good. I'm better now after that.
See?
After that.
He made you feel good, didn't he?
Okay.
He put a little hot sauce on it.
A little something.
I was trying to be professional, but
Anyway, can you explain to people what pre-need is?
Yes, exactly.
Pre-need.
Exactly. Pre-need is...
And that's not prenatal, y'all.
Right. And
no. Oh, no. No,
you know, the first time I heard, I thought it was something like that. But So what is pre-need?
Pre-need is when you, exactly what it says, pre-need, before you need it.
Yep.
You get all of those end-of-life things in place ahead of time, now,
okay,
while you're breathing and while you can pay for it. And you get all of that together, figure out what it is you want, pay for it, and then you're done. And so that when you pass away, it is now not a burden to your family, to your church, to your sorority, to strangers on GoFundMe.
Right. Come on now.
Oh, so like for when Prince passed away some years ago, he didn't have no pre-need at all, you know, and he didn't have no wheel or anything like that. That was a slip, but he didn't have. Well, he might have had some. I don't know. You know, there was a big house, but you know, when you pass and everybody start trying to grab this and grab that, in a sense, that's what you need. Something like a pre-need, like So, but now, what's the difference between a pre-need and a will?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Because if you have a will, doesn't it kind of get all?
No, the will says what you want to happen.
Okay.
The pre-need is what you want to happen, because the pre-need is going to be a contract already stated. This is what needs to happen. I want this, and this as far as my funeral or my memorial service or whatever your choice may be. I want this to happen. I have paid for it. I have locked that price in, and it's done.
Oh, so all you got to do is die, and then everything is paid for.
Right. Now, the will, that's a whole separate legal issue.
Right.
Okay.
That says when I die, I want my house to go to my son, my cars to go to my daughter. This is your property. This is your funeral. This is the services that you need. If you want to be buried, you got to be embalmed. You got to pay for that.
Do I got you?
No, you don't. I want to be cremated.
Well, I said if you're going to be buried.
Okay.
If you're going to be buried, unless you are, your religious.
But what if I put in my will that I just want to go butt naked the way I am in a little box? Now, if that's my pre-need and my will.
Right. Somebody still got to come pick you up butt naked and put you in the box.
Oh, so what the pre-need does is pay for that.
Pay for all of that.
Okay.
Right. So it's kind of like, so every pre-need makes sure everything pertaining to the funeral is paid for.
Right.
Does it also tell people what you want done at the funeral? Meaning, I want Pastor such and such to speak, but I don't want this person to come because I don't like them.
That's something separate. You can have that part of your important paperwork, which I say, but now this pre-need, it's a contract. It's a legally binding contract. Okay. When we sit down, for instance, you said you want to be cremated.
Yeah.
You may want to be buried.
Yep, butt naked.
Butt naked in a box.
Yep.
So we're going to figure out. Oh, okay. So we're going to figure out
between the laxatives and I'm just done.
That's what I want. Don't judge me.
I'm not.
I've already judged you, and we'll talk about it off camera.
I want the backside saying bye to the world. Just
Okay.
Just
we can do that.
Naked, all yellow.
They can do that. I won't do that part. I'll do the other part.
Once again, if y'all could see the look on my face.
Yeah, well, anyway, I want to go
Guys,
out in
once
style.
again, we're talking to Donna Dees. She's a pre-need specialist.
Right.
And she's sharing with us why it's important to take care of your needs before you need them.
Yeah, and being a pastor, and I can see the value in this because we do deal with a lot of unexpected deaths, people that don't put in the RSVP or anything like that. And they don't have all these stuff together. Right. And it's like they come to the church and like, oh, grandmama and them, they didn't have no money, but we could eat $3,000.
Did you just say RSVP?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, some people you can tell.
Oh,
yes, you can. You can look at some people in your church. You're going
to die.
I give you about 6 more months. You go.
You on deck.
Right, you on deck.
Okay, got it.
And believe it or not, most of them know I'm probably next.
Exactly.
But when that day does come, and being ministers in churches, because they always say, well, the church didn't help us out at all. Well, that was a $3,000, on a low end, or $4,000, that we had to come up with.
I think if your pastor got a private jet, he could help.
Not really. I don't know. Because if I helped everybody, I wouldn't have a private jet.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah,
so anywho, what do you suggest? Actually, how can people get in contact with you to find out more information about pre-need?
Okay.
Or a church that wants you to come and,
speak.
Exactly. I was going to mention that because the name of the organization is Alpha 2 Omega Church Support Systems.
Okay.
So what we do is we work with a lot of churches. In your case, like you said, you're a pastor.
Uh-huh.
My daddy was a pastor.
Oh.
So when people come to the church and they don't, when they don't have any resources, and you got to look at it both ways. They're in this state because now, Mother Jones has died, but Mother Jones didn't have enough money.
Yeah, Mother Jones.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Why you got to be Jones? Can it be Mother? I'm messing with you.
Mother McDougal has died.
Mother McDougal, yeah. And
she
all we
probably
can
had
do
a
is
wheel,
pray
though.
for her. No.
But the will is not monetary.
Right. The will is say what I wish for you to do.
I actually have a friend of mine named McDougal. Can you pick another last name?
Lord.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm messing with you. But so Mother Jones died.
Sister.
Uh-huh.
Mother from the mother
Yeah,
board.
Miss Mother died.
Right.
All right.
So they died, and then what happened?
And what was I saying? You wanted to know how you can get in touch with me.
Yes.
So, the
you
pastors.
Working with pastors in churches.
So the pastors, they feel obligated to do this because, you've been a member of the church since it was built, but you don't have the resources.
Yeah,
it's not a line item in your church budget.
Right.
And then so if you don't bury them, then now you got the folk upset with you.
Right.
But then if you do, you got the deacon board upset with you, the trustees.
Yep.
So you've got all of this going on. So if they can get things in place ahead of time, what we do is we work with churches to work with those pastors and those members to educate them.
Because you know what? I don't care how much of a heathen you are. When you die, all of a sudden, everybody want to go to church. All your family want to
Everybody remember the great things about you.
You ain't been in church, for 15 years, but ain't nobody got no money to bury you, and they go to the church.
But on a real thing, if you're like a 70, 80-year-old person right now at a church, and they come and they sign up with you, and then they die within a month, does that still pay for everything?
It can.
If they ain't paid you all your money?
It can.
Really?
It depends. And that's why I have to sit down with people because I just got off the phone.
Hold on. Sister Tally, I need you to sign up. We already know you only got a short time. Sign up.
Ooh,
Okay.
no.
Just
My
want to let
Sister
you know.
Tally.
Your Sister Tally. She know who I'm talking to. Yeah, she listening.
Well, tell Sister Tally. Sister Tally.
She can call you at what
I
number?
think her hearing this conversation might just knock her over the edge. But go ahead.
Before you go, Sister Tally.
Sister Tally.
Get her information.
My number is
678. Yep.
982 9805.
Now you know she kind of hard of hearing.
Okay,
Can you
Say
it
it
one more
again.
time?
Slow.
Yep.
678 982 9805.
There you go.
And then for the younger people that are like me, you can go ahead and give them your email, or if you want them to reach out to you some other way.
Okay.
Right.
Best email to catch me is at Donna T. Dees, and I'll spell it for you. DONNA, T as in Tom, D as in Donna, E as in egg, another E as in egg, and S as in Sam.
You just lost all
At
of it.
gmail.com.
I'm sorry. What is it again?
Donna
Okay.
T.
Donna T.
Dees, Dees.
All right. I got to make sure that they remember this, all right? So
Okay.
it's Donna T's D's.
Donna T. Dees.
Donna T. D's.
All one word.
All one word.
All lowercase. At gmail.com. That's the
Gmail.
best way to catch
Okay,
me.
I got to say something real quick.
At D's.
At gmail.com. We got it. For the record, y'all, all of us over 40, it don't matter in your email whether it's capital or little.
Oh, okay.
I'm just messing with you. I'm just
You ain't had to call. She could have done it off air, couldn't she?
She
She
could have told me that later.
See, that's the kind of person
No,
you need to go ahead and
no,
sign up because she gonna get cut soon.
Yeah,
She gonna get cut soon, so she need to make sure
No,
she
'cause
signed up. No,
I have customers that do that.
You
They
just
be like,
wanna-
it's capital B
Right, yeah.
A K E R T H O M S.
could have done it
I'm
off-
like,
She,
it don't
she didn't have
matter.
to do that.
Right, right, on the
Okay,
air.
sorry.
That's
Everybody
all right.
listen. Right,
That's
right,
all
right. See, look, if you got a
got a
comment
special
or
package for
thought-
you.
That's what I'm saying. You know, we got the early package. Look, if you got a
Early
comment,
bird package.
call us at 1-888-349-DONNIE. That's 1-888-349-DONI. And we're talking to the beautiful, talented Miss
Donna D's.
Donna D's. All right?
Yes, and also we'll have your information on our social media also. So we'll have it on our podcast, and we'll also have it
Yeah, everywhere.
everywhere.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
It's Danny Jones Live, Danny Jones Live. It's Danny Jones Live, Danny Jones Live. It's Danny Jones Live, Danny Jones Live.
Hey, got a comment about the show? Give us a call at 1-888-349-DONNIE. That's 1-888-349-3664.
Hey, write this number down. 1-888-470-VAST. That's 1-888-470-VAST. Have you ever thought about having a produced commercial for your next event? Your church anniversary, birthday, family reunion, or if you just need some production work done? VAST Productions can help. We're an audio video production house specializing in making your audio and video dreams come to life. Thinking about a family documentary or a church history story? Call us at 1-888-470-VAST. That's 1-888-470-8278. VAST Productions has over 20 years of production experience, and we're ready to work for you. To get started, just call 1-888-470-VAST. That's 1-888-470-VAST. That's 1-888-470-8278.
Hey, I'm Donnie the Tree Lady, owner of Don's Tree Service and author of From Failure to Fabulous. From Failure to Fabulous is my opportunity to share with you my trials and tribulations of growing a tree service or growing a small business and making it successful by overcoming adversity, and also giving you some tidbits on what you can do on a day-to-day basis to achieve your dreams and be the best that you can be. And you can find us on Amazon. You can go to Donnie Jones Live. Anywhere that books are sold, you should be able to find us.
Hey, this is Mardy Mcfly, and real quick, I want to invite you to join me in ministry. Yeah, seriously, I want you to join me in ministry. It's called Turning Point. Log on to YouTube and type in Turning Point. You should see a picture of me pop up there, you know, me in my little robe doing my thing. But anyway, type in Turning Point, push play, check it out, and if you like it, subscribe. All right? And I hope it'll be a blessing to your life, too.
Now, back to more Donnie Jones Live with Donnie and Marty McFly.
Danny Jones Live. It's Donnie Jones Live, Donnie Jones Live. It's Donnie Jones Live, Donnie Jones Live. It's Donnie Jones Live, Donnie Jones Live.
Welcome back to Donnie Jones Live. I am Donnie the Tree Lady.
And I am that guy trying to write some policies up.
I know, right? And we are here with the beautiful Miss Donna Dees.
Donna Dees. Now,
Donna T. Dees.
Yes. Yeah. I keep getting that
All
D
lowercase.
stuck in. All lowercase.
You know what?
Right. Now, if I might be wrong, but did you say there's some kind of like incentive for churches if they kind of sign up with you? Do they get like do I get like as a pastor, if you find 4 people in my church that's gonna die soon, and I get them a policy?
Are you trying to ask for a commission off of a policy?
Hold on, me and her talking.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just saying, because I get people all the time that's like, you look like you about to go,
Well, see, now we got to remember, pre-need means before.
Right, before they go.
So we got to
Right.
we got to have a little bit of time there. But as I mentioned, the name of the organization is Alpha 2 Omega Church Support Systems.
Okay.
And what we do, our mission is to provide revenue to the church.
Oh.
So what we do is we, as an organization,
Ministers, listen, cut the radio
Yes.
up right now.
as
Y'all
an
all need
organization,
this.
because our CEO is a minister. What we do is we choose to tithe our money to the church.
Oh.
So when people
Nice.
are able to, their members are able to do what they need to do,
Right.
then we come back and we make a contribution to that person's church.
Oh,
This is just what we
wow.
do. That's how we choose to spend. That's how we choose to spend our money and tithe
love
to
it.
the church
I
and
need
to the
start a
community.
church. I'm just kidding.
And actually, we do it with organizations as well, because I met with a lady the other day and she has a nonprofit.
Okay. No,
So-
I'm for profit.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, and
Leave it alone. Don't
I'm gonna leave it alone.
I dare you. What?
But there's a couple of other things we do at those churches. Is we actually, because what we have to have is the blessing of the pastor to talk to those members.
Of course.
Yeah.
So when we meet with that pastor, he gives us his blessing. Then we'll call those those members that he allows us to call, and just set up appointments with them. But we also, because there are other services that we do offer, but mainly the pre-need pieces, we help them set up a ministry, a request for service ministry. So that when their members need these services, instead of going all across the city of Atlanta, they come back to their church.
Right.
And they're able to sit down, get everything they need to have done at the church. That pastor will tell us who he believes is the best person to
Right.
manage this ministry. And all of them going to die. And then we, in turn, we will make sure that person goes to school.
Right.
We will pay for them to go to school.
Okay.
We will pay for them to get licensed.
Wow.
So now,
So this is like a career for them.
right,
Yeah, that's
right.
awesome.
So now your members have got their pre-need. The church has a place for people to come. We're still going to make contributions to the
Right.
church. This person has a new career. And and the community now is getting back whole. The church is getting back whole, and people are coming back to the church
Right.
for the services that they
Well,
need.
you had mentioned something a few seconds ago, and because I know that, I believe offline, you said this is a nationwide company, though, right?
We are right now in pre-need is nationwide.
Yeah.
We are, for instance, I am licensed in Georgia.
Okay. Got
Every
it.
state does pre-need differently.
Okay.
So you have to follow the laws of the state for
Okay.
pre-need. In the state of Georgia,
I guess the
funeral
reason
homes-
why I'm asking is because we do have listeners in Little Rock. We have
Right.
listeners in Killeen,
Right.
Texas. We've got listeners
Right.
in Greenville, South Carolina.
But see,
So we want to be able to service
right,
them
Right.
also.
But you have like affiliates that you can, like if somebody is in, I don't know, Killeen, Texas right now, and they think their grandmama gonna die soon, and it's like, let me kind of work this
Right.
out real quick. Can they still contact you and say, hey, we're in need of pre-need services? Do you have a representative in this area or
not
anything like that?
not nationally, not at this point.
Okay.
We're in Metro Atlanta area. We're in Georgia.
Okay.
Okay.
We're in Georgia, and so the way pre-need works is it is transferable because you mentioned if someone is getting, for instance, if someone is getting ready to die,
Right.
I can't help them.
But
Because
Right.
that is considered an imminent death. It's no
Right.
longer pre-need.
Right.
This is something they need to go to the.
Sister Tally,
I know, Sister.
Just
Tally,
let
I'm
it
sorry.
go.
don't worry about that.
But what
So-
we can do is for the people that are in areas that aren't in the Atlanta area, what they can do to be proactive in their situation is find someone in your area. The reason why we wanted to bring this information to the people is because people wait to the last minute.
Right.
So it's not just, these type of services aren't just in big cities. They're nationwide.
No, it's nationwide.
So if you are in, whether it's Little Rock, whether it's St. Louis, Greenville, Killeen, wherever, you need to reach out to somebody in your local area that understands pre-need services and explain to people why that's important.
Okay, so the way the way pre-need works is, say I sit down with you, and you tell me everything that you want, and we put it in place. We figure out how much it's going to cost. We're going to figure out how much it's going to cost per month. Because you're going to pay it off. Yeah. And you have options. You have 3, 5, or 10 years to pay it off. So you can pay it off. And then, now here's the other thing is, say you want to go back home, say you're from Little Rock. Yeah. But you live in Georgia now. When you pass away, even if you're connected to a funeral home here in Georgia, that money can still go to the funeral home in Little Rock. It's transferable.
Wow. That's great.
It's transferable to any funeral home in the country.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
But, the contract would be written here in Georgia, but the money can go to any funeral home because you may not live here when you pass away.
So, but there's the policy, and I don't want to go the wrong way, but the policy has to be written in Georgia for right now for you.
For me.
But but if I lived in Little Rock, could I get a policy drawn up from you from here, and if I passed, then that policy be moved to Georgia, or not to Georgia, but to the funeral home in Little Rock?
That would be a little tricky.
Okay.
But it's just that, again, this is
something.
This is something
like
personal.
If this is something that you need to basically think about.
I have to sit down and meet with those folks because a lot of people are not from Georgia, especially from Atlanta.
Well, here's what I guess what I would like to see. I would like, because I do know you go speak at churches and stuff like that, whether it's Atlanta, you speak all over. And you can go to other cities just to speak to people about the importance for pre-need.
Yeah.
Because people in the congregation, people in the body of Christ need to understand the importance of being proactive. Right. So even though you're licensed in Georgia, you can basically speak wherever just so people know, can have it on their mind. Like hey, this is
this
important.
Option is out there.
Yeah. Right.
And they can find a local person. So we encourage you right now, maybe not right now at this minute if you're driving, but right now to reach out and find a pre-need specialist, because this is, every time somebody dies, they look to me.
Right.
Just to be 100%. If somebody in our family, like if somebody dies in our family, not like sometimes people do have.
They look for you for financial support. Oh, okay.
They look to me, or they look for the church, or they look for a GoFundMe page or something like that. Whereas that doesn't have to happen if you plan for it. So I guess that's what I'm saying.
And the benefit, I said it's transferable, but there's also other benefits such as. Say a lot of people go into, say, like, I'm going to go to the funeral home and I'm going to pay on my funeral. Well, what happens if that funeral home is out of business by the time you pass away?
That is, funeral homes go out of business.
They surely do.
People die all the time. How do you go out of business when people dying? Like, I'm saying it's not like people stop dying or it's a slow up. How do people?
No, I bet you there probably is a slow up sometimes. Are there years
on
that
deaths?
Slow?
People die all the time, every single day. So what, is it like bad practices?
It's just, I don't know, because there have been a few that have
No, there was a guy
that
went out of business because he wasn't cremating the body.
But that's that. Okay, yeah. If you just throwing a body in the backyard, then that could go. That you can lose it.
And actually, that's how this law. This is kind of how that law came about, because he went to jail for insurance fraud. Really,
right? Not throwing the bodies.
Wait a minute. So he didn't. Okay, for you guys that don't know, there was a guy in Georgia that was taking people's money, and instead of doing something with the bodies, they would throw them in the backyard.
Yep.
Or wherever.
Just wherever. We just throw them and just keep on rolling.
Right.
We got the insurance money.
Who was digging the graves? Like, how do you do that?
You don't dig a grave. You just throw it in the back.
They were, no. So they were supposed, that's why if the funeral home is out of business, your money is safe with the way the pre-need is written. Okay. Also, if you pass away before you finish paying for it, it has the opportunity to also be paid in full.
Okay.
Even though you still owe money.
Okay.
With no additional money due from your family. Wow. So there's no way you can lose your money unless you just say, I don't want to do this anymore. That's the only thing. And it takes care of it. It locks it in, because what a funeral costs today
Oh, yeah.
By the time you pass away, it's going to be, what funerals cost, say, 30 years ago is what a casket costs today.
Yeah.
So
true.
once you lock it in place.
And you're talking about a minimum of $10,000 at least.
A minimum. So say you put something, for instance, when I do my presentation, I have a chart.
Yeah.
Says $8,400 right now is about the average of a funeral home price of just the funeral home piece. Doesn't include the cemetery. Well, 50 years from now, at 5% inflation, that thing's going to be over $91,000
to bury somebody.
But people are like, that's stupid, that's crazy. But remember, I'm not talking about today's $91,000.
Right.
I'm talking about 50 years from now.
You know what, Donnie? We're gonna have to maybe change up our business plan. And we might need to get into the funeral business.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm like, I know trees are really good. You got trees everywhere, but
they ain't got nothing on funerals.
Ain't nothing on funerals.
That's what I'm saying.
Look, everybody, if you want her to come to your church, if you want a little bit more information about this, please hit her up, okay?
Yes.
She's going to give the information again for Sister Tally. Just, she's going to do it slowly this time. All right?
Okay. Sister Tally.
Yes.
The number, 678-982-9805.
Yes.
And then email is Donna, T as in Tom, Dees, DEES, @gmail.com.
Absolutely. And also, if you have questions, you guys can email her or call her, even if you're not in the Atlanta market. Because once again, regardless of what market you're in, you need pre-need services.
Oh, yes.
It's important.
Yes.
know? And if you want her to come speak at your church about this, I think it's important for you guys to reach out to her.
And you know what? Really, I think your message is more for the caregivers of these people that are about to go soon. You need to make sure Mama sign up for this now.
Come on now.
Because don't wait till afterwards and you're like, I wish she had done that 3 years ago. You know. So, those loved ones that you have right now, I would say you might want to start investing in that too.
Yeah. But we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. I am Donnie the Tree Lady.
And I am that guy, Donnie. Whoa, I was about to say your name. It's just one of them. I'm Mardy Mcfly. I need to get some more water or coffee or something. It's just one of them days. All right? But we'll be right back.
It's Donnie Jones Live, Donnie Jones Live. It's Donnie Jones Live, Donnie Jones Live. It's Donnie Jones Live, Donnie Jones Live.
Hey, you got a comment about the show? Give us a call at 1-888-349-DONNIE. That's 1-888-349-3664.
Hey, write this number down. 1-888-470-VAST. That's 1-888-470-VAST. Have you ever thought about having a produced commercial for your next event? Your church anniversary, birthday, family reunion, or if you just need some production work done, VAST Productions can help. We're an audio video production house specializing in making your audio and video dreams come to life. Thinking about a family documentary or a church history story? Call us at 1-888-470-VAST. That's 1-888-470-8278. VAST Productions has over 20 years of production experience, and we're ready to work for you. To get started, just call 1-888-470-VAST. That's 1-888-470-VAST. That's 1-888-470-8278.
Hey, I'm Donnie the Tree Lady, owner of Don's Tree Service and author of From Failure to Fabulous. From Failure to Fabulous is my opportunity to share with you my trials and tribulations of growing a tree service or growing a small business and making it successful by overcoming adversity, and also giving you some tidbits on what you can do on a day-to-day basis to achieve your dreams and be the best that you can be. And you can find us on Amazon. You can go to Donnie Jones Live. Anywhere that books are sold, you should be able to find us.
Hey, this is Mardy Mcfly, and real quick, I want to invite you to join me in ministry. Yeah, seriously, I want you to join me in ministry. It's called Turning Point. Log on to YouTube and type in Turning Point. You should see a picture of me pop up there, me in my little robe doing my thing. But anyway, type in Turning Point, push play, check it out, and if you like it, subscribe. All right? And I hope it'll be a blessing to your life, too.
Now, back to more Donnie Jones Live with Donnie and Mardy Mcfly.
Donnie Jones Live. It's Donnie Jones Live, Donnie Jones Live. It's Donnie Jones Live, Donnie Jones Live. It's Donnie Jones Live, Donnie Jones Live.
Hey, welcome back. I'm Donnie the Tree Lady.
And I am that guy, Mardy Mcfly. I got it right this time.
I know you got your own name right. And we are here talking with Mrs. Donna Dees. She is a pre-need specialist. You know, around this time, we like to find out, we talk a little bit about entrepreneurship and are basically pursuing your dream and doing your own thing. What made you decide that you wanted to go into pre-need? Like, that's not something that would ever pop into my head.
No.
Mm-mm. Well, honestly, it didn't pop into mine either.
This is career advice, y'all.
This is a prayer that was answered.
Okay.
I wasn't working for several years. I knew I needed to go back to work, but the thought of just sitting in somebody's cubicle made me sick.
I know the feeling.
So I said, okay, Lord, I want a job where I have control of my schedule, where I can work with churches because that's where I'm most comfortable. Mm-hmm. And I said, I also want to work with funeral homes, but I don't want to be in the back doing all the other stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. I want to be up front doing something. Right. And I also want to make a decent living so I can pay my bills.
Right.
Wow.
So I prayed. And I met the gentleman, Reverend Lightfoot, who is the CEO of our organization, and I just met him when he gave me a card one day, and I put it away. And then one day I looked at it, and I was like, oh, I'm going to see what they do.
Right.
And he's like, how'd you hear about the job? I'm like, what job? I'm not here for a job. I'm just here to be nosy, see what y'all do.
Oh, wow.
Right.
And he said, well, have a seat. And that was 6 years ago.
Wow.
And so I was still praying that same prayer, Lord, I want to do such and such. And the Lord hit me in my forehead and said, aren't you working with churches? Aren't you working with funeral homes? Aren't you? Mm-hmm. Don't you have control over your schedule?
Control over your own schedule.
Aren't you making decent money that you can pay your bills? And I'm like, yeah. He said, so why are you still praying for the same something I've already given you?
Oh, wow. See, that's the inspirational moment for today.
That's it right there.
Right.
Don't even try. You got to have one.
That
is so true, though.
Right.
That literally just happened to me a week ago. I'm not going to talk about it again. But anyway, I was sitting in my living room, and it was a Sunday morning, and I'm praying to God and asking for direction, healthy family, a good business, doing what I love, all that kind of stuff. And I was like, wait a minute, I got all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Literally everything I wanted as a kid and as a young adult growing up, I've literally got that right now.
Right.
The only thing, I'm still missing that one thing. We're still working on the supernatural abundance. We got a little abundance, but we need a lot more abundance. We gotta work on that.
It's coming. I'm saying that
it is coming.
Once you pray, like she said, once you kind of pray and put it out there in the atmosphere, it does come, because I really do believe in prayer. Right. I'm saying, I remember some years ago when I was kind of going through it, and it's like, God, I really want to change, and I want a job that I'm happy at, that I can make influence and, that doesn't drug test. And I became a pastor.
Oh, my God.
And it's like everything when I time out, this is what I do for a living.
Right.
I'm a pastor. They don't drug test me, and I have influence.
And you do have influence.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
So it's like, it's a blessing. But,
right.
You got to sometimes take that pause and just,
Y'all, please disregard the drug test part with Mardy. Just
pastors don't get drug tested. It was either that or be a comedian. But
you're a comedian also, though.
Yeah, but
and for those of you that do need a comedian or a maestro or that MC, you guys need to reach out to Mardy.
Yeah. But anyway, so it's about Miss D. So anyway, it's her day. It's her time.
That's right, Miss D.
Right.
So tell us more about this career of yours.
Yes. So I was so busy begging that, that I didn't see the blessing right there in front of me. So this is what I do, and I love it. I love it. And when
Y'all
get
should
up,
see the look on her face. She's like, I love it.
That's when you know it's good, when you close your eyes. Just
and she did. She closed her eyes. She's like, I love it.
Right.
I love it. I'm like, hey.
And that, and everybody has their thing. Because I'm saying, just to think about growing up saying, I want to work at a funeral home one day.
Yeah.
Right.
That has never been
like
that.
Did
it's
that
a ministry.
What is it about the funeral home where you were like, I want to do this?
Well, it started really from a desire I had to have a nonprofit that helped parents whose minor children would pass away, and they did not have resources for them. So I said, but I don't know anybody in the funeral home. I'm not even anywhere around a funeral home. How would I even know that somebody needed us?
Some dead people. No, I'm just kidding.
About to die people.
Right. Yeah. How would I know that people needed that type of service? And actually, also, it started and I didn't realize it at the time, but about 15 or so years ago, my sister and her husband were in a motorcycle accident, and they both passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
And I watched my parents. Now, my sister was 34 at the time, grown, had a child, had been on her second marriage at that point. But I watched my parents and how it affected them to bury a child.
Yeah.
And I said, I can't imagine if you've got a little one, a 3-year-old that you're trying to bury. You have no money, you have no resources,
Right.
you have no family, and you don't know what to do. And you're in the grips of this unbearable grief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I can come in and at least relieve that financial piece, because that's the big piece, because when you walk in the funeral homes, it's a business.
It is. Yeah.
And
It's
they
a
don't cut,
business.
slack at the
no,
funeral
they
home.
don't.
Yeah,
You
so,
know.
they'll be courteous and cordial, and I tell people this all the time. They're like, "Well, that's my mother." I was like, "Yeah, but there are 5 other
Right.
families who have
Yeah.
mothers back there, and
Yeah.
they've got to deal with each one of those people on the same terms in the same way." And so you have to look at it from
And they don't
different.
play. I
They
was
don't.
with some friends or a friend, and she was going through a tough time. She had a daughter that had passed, and they were compassionate. They were warm. They were kind, but they were like, "But we got to figure out how you're going to pay for this before we
Right.
go pick the body up."
Look,
I was like,
I had
"But it's her daughter." No, I mean,
Two
how are we
people
gonna?
at my-
I'm like, "What?"
2 people at my church passed same week. I tried to get a buy one get one free kind of discount, and they would not show me
They
any
was
kind of
compassionate
love,
and nice,
none
but
at
I
all.
was like,
you know,
they were
Bugger.
not gonna
right?
move
They would not
until
go.
they knew how they got that. They wasn't picking up the body.
Nope.
From the morgue,
Ain't touching it.
they. I mean, and there was like tons of paperwork. I was like,
I was like, you ain't
this
even got to
seems
cut
so
their hair.
impersonal.
Well, the other part is, and this is another piece, is life insurance.
Yeah.
A lot of people say, well, I've got life insurance. I don't need you. I don't
Yeah.
need your help. I don't want this.
Yeah, that's a good question. What's
Right.
the difference?
Life
Can I do
insurance.
one thing now?
Uh-huh.
I need to because I had another friend that had somebody pass that was
Just say it.
a son, and I want to give a shout out to Donald Trimble.
Oh, yes, yes,
because
yes.
They
Uh-huh.
were so compassionate.
Yes.
And they were so warm, and they handled the business side with the personal side and just made it such an easy transition. So I
Yes.
want to give a shout out. If you are in the Atlanta area, Donald Trimble Mortuary, y'all.
Yes.
They ain't cheap though.
Yes,
No, that-
and that is the funeral home I do the majority of my
What? That's
pre-need
true.
work with.
Uh-huh.
Is at Donald Trimble, 1876 Second Avenue, Decatur,
Yep,
Georgia.
1876. They're good people.
Yes,
They're good
yes,
people.
yes,
Right. They
yes.
good
They're
people.
good people.
Uh-huh. This is the end right there. They're good people.
They're good people.
Yeah, but actually, we're supposed to have the owner of it on coming up.
Yep,
Right.
absolutely.
Good, good. So life insurance.
Yes.
People say, well, I've got life insurance. I've got, I don't need that. I have life insurance. Well, it's called life insurance. It's not called death insurance.
Okay.
Life insurance is for the living, not to go in the ground with you or to the crematory with you, because
Yeah.
people are going to need money after you go. Georgia Power still wants their money
Yeah,
even
my wife
after
gonna
you're
get a lot of
no
money when
longer
I go.
here. So, and also with life insurance, you're purchasing money.
Okay.
With
Huh?
pre-need, you're purchasing money when you're purchasing an amount.
Oh.
$10,000, say. You want $10,000 to, that's how much your policy is worth.
Right.
But it may cost 30 when you pass away. Well, guess what? You ain't got enough
Oh.
because all you're going to get is
right.
10.
Right.
With the pre-need, you're actually purchasing services and merchandise. You are paying for your funeral or you're
Okay.
paying for your memorial service, so that when you pass away, they're going to say, all right, it was $10,833.
Right.
But now it costs $30,833 to bury you. It don't matter. It does not
Right.
matter. They're still going to, that funeral home, that money is going to be sent straight to that funeral home.
So can
in
the
that
funeral
amount.
home say, well, it's $30,000 to bury you now, so
No, because you have a contract,
So
a
you're gonna
legally
bury.
binding contract where you
Okay.
have paid it off.
right.
Because again, you're paying for services. It's like once you pay off your car, you don't pay it off again just because it goes up in value or becomes
cars
a
usually go
classic.
down in value. Okay, well, yeah, if it's a
so it
classic.
becomes
now-
a classic.
Yeah.
But now, because I know how some of my people are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm just being honest. I'm saying because you would get a policy at, say, right now where it's at a 10, just saying 10,000, okay?
Right.
Now, say grandmama passed in 10 years, you know.
Uh-huh.
Now, if I started making more, like, okay, well, now I want a different kind of casket.
Right.
You know, and now I've made the price higher than what Will they all still pay for that? Does
You're
that make
talking
sense?
about with pre-need?
Yeah.
And once again, guys,
No.
we're talking to Donna
Yeah.
Dees. She's a pre-need specialist, and we're just going
Right.
over that right now.
So say you put your thing in place and your casket costs, I don't know, $3,000.
Right.
So you paid it off. You're done. But when when you pass away, your family says, no, we want the one that costs $6,000.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Well, they're going to have to pay the difference because you already paid it off.
Okay.
got
So
This is what you wanted.
okay.
Yes.
So you pick out your casket and everything?
You pick out everything.
But wait a minute, I might not want a throwback casket. I might want a new,
Yeah, what if they don't have that kind of old style casket anymore?
Right.
Well,
we just gonna give you a
casket.
$3,000 regardless, and you ain't gonna
But
complain
what if
because
it's
you
a
gone.
scraggly casket?
No.
by
You
then?
ain't gonna complain. You
What
know.
it's- what it's going to do?
They got your money and you
it's-
gone.
It's going to be comparable to whatever it is that you got. If say that
Yeah.
that
But if it's
particular,
20 years from now,
It's
the
still gonna be a
caskets might
casket.
more,
It's
you
still
know.
gonna be a
they will.
casket.
It will be more, but it doesn't matter. Remember, you have a contract. You locked that price in and you paid it off.
But I'm
Yeah.
saying if they don't have that style of casket
But
anymore.
Donnie,
They
what she's
will.
really saying is they're going to give you something around that price range,
okay.
that's comparable to it. But actually, you being the one that's gone,
Yeah.
you ain't gonna complain. I'm saying I've never
That's
went
true,
to,
that's
true.
true.
And I've never went to a funeral
No.
and was like, you know what, that casket didn't have no rims on it.
Exactly.
You know,
And, see,
I don't.
and that's what I tell
Right.
people when I sit with them and they're like, "Oh my goodness, should I get this and this?" I was like,
You
"Listen,
went out in style.
they're all going to do the same thing,
Yeah,
pretty much.
that's true.
It's not, it's not a car. Doesn't have GPS. Nobody's going to come visit you. None of that.
Look, if y'all really want to get in contact with her, call her at. Give me that number one more time.
678-982-9805.
Right. And if they want to email you or get in contact with you that way.
Donna T Dees DEES @gmail.com.
All right.
We'll be right back, you guys.
Yep.
It's Donnie Jones Live, Donnie Jones Live. It's Donnie Jones Live, Donnie Jones Live. It's Donnie Jones Live, Donnie Jones Live.
Hey, got a comment about the show? Give us a call at 1-888-349-DONNIE. That's 1-888-349-3664. Hey, write this number down. 1-888-470-VAST. That's 1-888-470-VAST. Have you ever thought about having a produced commercial for your next event? Your church anniversary, birthday, family reunion, or if you just need some production work done? VAST Productions can help. We're an audio video production house specializing in making your audio and video dreams come to life. Thinking about a family documentary or a church history story? Call us at 1-888-470-VAST. That's 1-888-470-8278. VAST Productions has over 20 years of production experience, and we're ready to work for you. To get started, just call 1-888-470-VAST. That's 1-888-470-VAST. That's 1-888-470-8278.
Hey, I'm Donnie the Tree Lady, owner of Don's Tree Service and author of From Failure to Fabulous. From Failure to Fabulous is my opportunity to share with you my trials and tribulations of growing a tree service or growing a small business and making it successful by overcoming adversity, and also giving you some tidbits on what you can do on a day-to-day basis to achieve your dreams and be the best that you can be. And you can find us on Amazon. You can go to Donnie Jones Live. Anywhere that books are sold, you should be able to find us.
Hey, this is Mardy Mcfly, and real quick, I want to invite you to join me in ministry. Yeah, seriously, I want you to join me in ministry. It's called Turning Point. Log on to YouTube and type in Turning Point. You should see a picture of me pop up there, me in my little robe doing my thing. But anyway, type in Turning Point, push play, check it out, and if you like it, subscribe. All right? And I hope it'll be a blessing to your life, too. Now, back to more Donnie Jones Live with Donnie and Mardy McFly.
Donnie Jones Live. It's Donnie Jones Live, Donnie Jones Live. It's Donnie Jones Live, Donnie Jones Live. It's Donnie Jones Live, Donnie Jones Live.
Welcome back to Donnie Jones Live.
I am that guy, Mardy McFly, sitting with Donnie Jones and the beautiful Donna Dees, right?
Wait a minute.
Did I say, what?
You said you're sitting with Donnie Jones and the beautiful Donna Dees.
Yeah.
But
You
I don't
forgot
get to be beautiful.
You gonna ask me that on air?
No.
That's I'm just saying. You all, yeah, okay, no,
that's for
Donnie,
back. That's back for the
No,
lowercase.
that's okay.
right.
That's okay.
Right. No, but yes, you are beautiful. Yes, you always
don't even.
beautiful.
My husband said I'm beautiful. That's all I
right.
got.
He has to say that. He's contracted to
You
say
know
that.
what?
You know, well, he is.
What?
She's about to call me a Nicodemus up in here. You saw that? You heard that? Anyway, we're talking about pre-need, okay? And this is like for the if you, not even saying if you know you're gonna pass away, but actually
if you gonna pass away, you are gonna pass.
Well, you're gonna pass away, and if you want to, basically make sure that all of your stuff is taken care of, so that burden isn't on the ones that are left here.
Yes,
This is something that you might want to invest in, and it helps out the church too.
Yes.
And so people don't start talking about the church, because look, if you die in my church, trust me, I'm gonna say pray about it.
You've helped people at the church. I've seen you help people.
I send them to helpful places.
Okay, such as Miss Donna.
Right. I'm gonna send you there before.
Yeah, because we got to get them to you before they die.
Right. Honestly, people you mentioned people getting ready to die, but if they are, I can't do anything for them because that's a different road.
So they got to kind of be healthy. But what if they got diabetes?
No, you got 6 months.
You can have anything. Now, for instance, like with life insurance, if you have high blood pressure and diabetes, you probably can't get life insurance, or if you can, you can't afford it.
Nope.
So you can have any type of illness: diabetes, Parkinson's, cancer,
Stupidness.
AIDS, Lou Gehrig's disease, heart attacks, strokes.
And you still get a policy.
Yes, because again, you're
still
paying for
alive.
services and you're paying for merchandise. And I tell people, don't wait until you're 80 and you're retired, and you've got fixed income and you can't afford this, because you're going to pay it off at the longest amount of time you have is 10 years.
Okay.
So you're going to pay it off. So if you're still working, if you're 55 and you still have a job and you're working, that's who you need. That's who I need to talk to, because you're going to put it in place. You're going to live for another 40, 50 years.
Yeah.
And you're done.
Yeah.
You're done, and nobody in your family has to worry about this ever.
Now,
can you just pay it off cash?
You can, if that's what you want. Yes.
So if you got a bank account like that, because I was thinking of what's a minimum. I know everybody's is going to be a little bit different, but like a minimum monthly payment. Is this $10? Or are we talking about a car note like $450?
It depends. Again. Because
you
there
got
is
rims on your
you got rims on your casket.
And the hydraulics.
There is a lot of people ask me that, and I tell them I have to sit down with you, because I got to know what you want, and then we got to figure it out.
I'm easy. Yeah. I just want to. But if somebody like me, it wouldn't matter, because I want to be cremated.
It still costs money.
Right.
It still costs money, and what it costs to cremate you today. It's going to be a whole lot different by the time you pass away.
Right.
So that's the thing. And it's not just churches, I work with families. I work with a lot of veterans. I work with organizations that people, I work with an organization that works with people who are HIV, have HIV and AIDS. So because they can't do anything. And their concern is, what's going to happen to me when I pass away?
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to just ask the question, because, I know some of our listeners that don't think that I'm being biased or talking about anybody specifically. But do you got to have your proper paperwork, to sign up? Like if you might be here from a different country or something like that, but you live in Georgia, or stay in Georgia, but you might not have a green card. What are you talking about?
I can't stand you, dude.
You need to have some form of legal identification.
Legal identification, okay.
Right.
So,
but that can be a passport.
No, you need to.
Oh no!
You know what?
But then again, I take that back,
him.
because I've never had that come up. I've never met with anybody who was not.
Oh, you need to come to my church.
You silly.
So again, we're back to individual. When I sit down with you, let's figure out what you need and how we can work.
So have you ever turned anybody down?
Huh? At my church? No, I haven't turned nobody down. Oh, you talking to her about?
Yeah, I'm talking to her about pre-need services.
Right.
Yes.
Have you had to turn somebody down?
Yes.
Oh, really? Why?
Age, or they are an imminent
death. But you just
death.
said it doesn't matter what age they are.
Age. Yeah, they could if they're 100. If they're 96.
If you're 96,
it's not. I can't because
you ain't got 10
age
years.
Discrimination.
But let me explain why. Because
you ain't gonna live 10 more years.
No, they're not gonna do it.
So what's the cutoff?
It depends on the year. It depends on 3, 5, or 10. At 10, it's 75. At 5, it's 80. and at 3 it's 85. And this is because, remember, your money's got to be guaranteed. You got to have a guarantor. Now, who's going to guarantee? Who has the money that guarantee like that in the insurance industry?
I would guarantee my grandma. No. But she's passed. She already passed.
Right,
so.
but I'm saying if you have a grandfather and you wanted to pay on his policy or buy one for him, if
that's
he's 90.
Thing. You can buy some, like, it doesn't have to be the person that's dying, right? It can be, you can buy a policy for your grandma.
Right. There are a lot of parents who buy them for their children, or say I have some friends who did
parents buy them for their children.
Put it in place for their children, or siblings who they're responsible for their brother or something.
Right.
Okay.
And I
so
know
they
you
make
live
sure
in a crazy life.
Right. You make sure that things are in place because they're like, I'm gonna be responsible for him if something happens anyway.
Gotcha.
Right.
Let me just put this in place.
And kind of like what we said earlier, life is short. You take a lot of things for granted. But I think we just dealt with a young man who was in his early 20s who got killed, and it's like you don't expect that, but they had that policy there.
They handled their business and they had everything together. But I want to take a moment to thank you because obviously when I met you, you and I've met before, but you just have a beautiful personality, and you're lighthearted, and easy to talk to, but you talk about a serious subject. And for you to make it accessible to people and to make it humorous and to make it personable, I think that's amazing. Because I would think that this would be a situation where it'd be kind of stodgy and serious,
right.
But you make it something that people can kind of feel comfortable talking to you about.
Right. And a lot of people tell me when I tell them what I do, and they're like, oh, no, I don't want to talk about that. But I'm like, just sit down with me and listen.
Yeah.
And
if you run it from you, huh?
And if you do it, beautiful. You got it and you're done. If not, you've got I promise you have some really, really, really good information to help you as you plan, because we all have to deal with it at some point. And if you've got it in place ahead of time, then now it doesn't become a burden to your family. It is no fun sitting around that table trying to plan a funeral.
Yeah. Absolutely.
No fun.
No.
Well, usually this is a moment where I try to get a word from Mardy, but I feel like with your background, if you don't mind, would you mind if you get
all. Just let it, go ahead. Let the Lord just use you right now.
Use me.
You just minister to the people, whatever is on your heart right now. Just you got to change your voice. Just whatever is on your heart right now.
My
what
church
he just
voice.
said.
Give me my church voice.
Right.
What is God leading you to say to the people right now? Whether it's through your experience, something that's on your heart, whether it's pre-need, or whether it's just pursuing your dreams and letting God show you the way.
The thing that I've heard for the last probably couple of weeks is everything's going to be all right. That's what I keep hearing. And that everything is just fine. I got off the phone on the way over here talking to someone, and she was just distraught over something. I'm like, girl, it's not the end of the world. Right. And even if it was, it wouldn't matter because it's the end of the world. So we're done.
That is so true.
Right.
That is, you know what?
I never thought about that.
I was thinking about telling a friend of mine that this morning of, it is what it is.
Right.
You're not going to die. You can't unring a bell. If information has went out there, you can't unring a bell. Just understand that God still has you, and
Right. And just enjoy your life, and just and be supportive of each other, and love each other, and take care of each other, and just do what God has called you to do, and do it the best of your ability, and do it with thankfulness and gratefulness. Oh, yeah. And just whoever God created you to be, don't try to put yourself less than because you don't want to offend anybody or whatever. Just be who you are. Let God use you according to the way that He's planned to use. He's going to use you anyway. And then, too, if you don't do what He told you to do, He will find somebody else.
Woo, ain't that the truth?
Yep, He will find someone else, and understand God put everything in this game of life for a reason. Yeah. You're here for a reason. You wouldn't be here if you didn't have a purpose. So
that's right.
You're here. And if anything, I would just say this because you started on something earlier of saying your drive was to really help families out. And, I almost got to put it as your heart drive. What drives your heart. Because most of us do the things that we do because that's what was put in us. That's what God put in us that says, this is what speaks to my heart. So that's what I'm working towards. So if something is on your heart right now, work towards that because God put that in you, and He made that purpose for you to do it. We talk about, and we only got a little second. I'm going to say this real quick. We always talk about Jonah ran from God, but God made it his destiny to still do what God wanted him to do.
You better pray.
You know, so even though if you're going through ups and downs, you're going through them for a reason, for God to make you even stronger.
Make you stronger.
To do your thing.
Right.
So anyway, that's my touch on that. But thank you so much for being
Yes,
a part.
thank you for being. You were a pleasure to have on the show.
Thank you.
Talking about dead people and stuff. You made it fun.
Now she was talking about the living people and just getting prepared for that.
Right.
But if you
Before
are
you
at
get
church or anybody that wants to contact her, please, that one last moment. All right, Sister Tally, this is the last time, okay? She's going to
check
do
my
it.
phone, see if Sister Tally called.
Right. Yeah. Well, she a little slow. She got arthritis on her fingers. But anyway, give us that number one more time.
Phone
I
number.
gotta stop beating this table.
678-982-9805. I'll do it again because I started fast. 678-982-9805. And then email Donna T as in Tom Dees DEES at gmail.com. If you put it in all caps, it's all caps.
Repeat it one more time.
Yeah, D's, Donna D's.
Donna T Dees.
Donna T D's
at gmail.com.
Y'all, check her out. Check us out. You know, hit us always up on social media. Donnie Jones. If you just type in Donnie Jones Alive.
Yeah, D-O, but they got to spell it right because if they put D-O-N-N, it's got to be D-O-N-I. D-O-N-I.
Hit us up, and if anything, Donna and Donnie, both of y'all have a wonderful, wonderful, blessed week.
Thank you for letting me come on.
Oh, well, you're welcome. You're welcome, and you have a great weekend.
All right, you're listening to Donnie Jones Live with Mardy Mcfly and the beautiful ladies with Marty. We'll be back. Talk to y'all next week.
Yeah, all right. Bye-bye.
It's Donnie Jones Live, Donnie Jones Live. It's Donnie Jones Live, Donnie Jones Live. It's Donnie Jones Live, Donnie Jones Live.
Hey, got a comment about the show? Give us a call at 1-888-349-DONNIE. That's 1-888-349-3664. Hey, write this number down. 1-888-470-VAST. That's 1-888-470-VAST. Have you ever thought about having a produced commercial for your next event? Your church anniversary, birthday, family reunion, or if you just need some production work done? VAST Productions can help. We're an audio video production house specializing in making your audio and video dreams come to life. Thinking about a family documentary or a church history story? Call us at 1-888-470-VAST. That's 1-888-470-8278. VAST Productions has over 20 years of production experience, and we're ready to work for you. To get started, just call 1-888-470-VAST. That's 1-888-470-VAST. That's 1-888-470-8278.
Hey, I'm Donnie the Tree Lady, owner of Don's Tree Service and author of From Failure to Fabulous. From Failure to Fabulous is my opportunity to share with you my trials and tribulations of growing a tree service or growing a small business and making it successful by overcoming adversity, and also giving you some tidbits on what you can do on a day-to-day basis to achieve your dreams and be the best that you can be. And you can find us on Amazon. You can go to Donnie Jones Live. Anywhere that books are sold, you should be able to find us.
Hey, this is Mardy McFly, and real quick, I want to invite you to join me in ministry. Yeah, seriously, I want you to join me in ministry. It's called Turning Point. Log on to YouTube and type in Turning Point. You should see a picture of me pop up there, you know, me in my little robe doing my thing. But anyway, type in Turning Point, push play, check it out, and if you like it, subscribe. All right? And I hope it'll be a blessing to your life, too.